In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the Harbor Fog colorway of the Venus necklace. It comes in 17 colors, like the photo you saw, and what you're going to get in the kit is a little ball of Be So Fine yarn, the assorted beads that I've put together to make the necklace. I've got everything from crystals to pearls to little flower beads and some chips, and I've chosen all the colors to coordinate beautifully with the yarns. You're going to need a crochet hook. The necklace can be done on anything from a B to a C to a D, and you're also going to need a wide eye beading needle. If you don't have one, you can also use something like this, which is a dental flosser, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to string the bead onto the yarn with even this. This doesn't replicate a yarn needle because it's too flimsy to actually weave in loose ends, but it's fantastic as a substitute for a beading needle. And you're going to need a pair of scissors, but we'll use those at the end. What I'm going to show you first is a little recap on how to crochet a chain, because just in case you've never beaded or crocheted before, I can actually teach you how to make this necklace having never had any experience with beading or crochet. So what we're going to do is start with a worsted weight yarn and a larger hook, and we're going to tie the yarn onto the hook with a knot. If you've tied shoes before, you know how to tie a knot, right? Okay, so now we're going to do a crochet chain. This is the only stitch you're going to need for this entire project. You're going to hold the tail with your thumb and your first finger and your working yarn between your middle finger and ring finger, and we're going to make the crochet hook, the hook part face down, and we're going to wrap under the yarn, then come up over the yarn, grab the yarn inside that hook so we can pull it through the loop on the hook, like that. And you're just going to repeat that for the entire length of the necklace. Isn't that easy? You could even do this with your fingers, but to make a necklace of this size, you'll need a hook. Now, the more uniform you want your chains to be depends on your tension. So how you hold the yarn, how you hold the chain in your first finger and your thumb, and how you hold the working yarn between your middle finger and ring finger will determine your gauge. And the more you practice, the better you'll get, just like with anything else. So that's how we chain, and that's what we're going to end up doing for this necklace project. And so we're going to get the yarn out of the bag now. And we're going to, before we actually start crocheting, what we're going to do is slide the beads onto the yarn. So we're going to insert the yarn into the loop. Now this could be your wide eye beading needle or this dental flosser, whichever tool you end up using. And we're going to pull our beads out. I suggest putting them into a little container just so they don't go flying all over the place. Okay, the kit comes with 60 assorted beads. It's 10 each of 6 different beads. So now you can end up being the designer and decide how you want to put it together. I did a pattern of one of all 6 and then repeated that exact same pattern. Honestly, you could close your eyes and just pull one out, and they're all going to mix and match beautifully together. I designed the kit so that everything matches, matches not matchy-matchy, but matches where they coordinate together. So however you end up doing it is fine. So you're going to pick up a bead, insert your needle into the bead, and slide it through the yarn and set it down. You don't want to go all the way through, but we have a little ball, so as long as you keep it in your working area, not all the way to the end of the yarn, they won't slide off. And so we'll just grab another bead. I picked up one of the chips this time, so I did a pearl, I did a chip, and now I'll do one of these cute little flower beads. There's the hole. And you just want to slide it through. Now I'll pick up one of the shiny green ones. This has like a metallic finish to it. I think it's really cool. Pick up another chip. Whoops. And I lost my yarn, but that's okay. You just want to make sure you keep a long tail through that hole so that you don't do that. It's not a big deal. Just put it right back on. If you wear glasses sometimes, but not always, this might be a time that you want to pull your glasses out. Finding the hole in little beads can be a little bit tricky, and it might need you might need to wear your glasses. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for my design idea, I'm going to repeat this exact pattern, but again, if you want to do it slightly differently, that's perfectly fine. So you just want to continue doing this until all 60 beads are on the yarn, and then I'll show you how to make the necklace. Okay, we've got all 60 beads strung onto our yarn. We're going to remove the dental flosser or your wide-eye beading needle, and now we're going to start with our crochet hook. We're going to tie a knot onto the crochet hook just like we did in our first sample piece with the worsted weight yarn. And we're just going to tie a simple knot. You could start with a slip knot if you prefer, but this is the type of knot I prefer. And you want to start with chain 5. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th chain is going to be a beaded chain. And what that means is you're going to slide your bead all the way up to the hook. And you're going to work a chain in between, or put the bead in between your tail and your working yarn. So you can create a chain with the bead in between. Like that. And so so that's the repeat. It's chain 5, bead chain 1. The first chain of the next chain 5 needs to be snug to secure the bead in place. So it's chain 1 tight, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, chain 5, and then we'll do a bead chain 1. Slide the bead all the way up to our hook, hold it in place while we chain after it. And then bead chain 1 tight. You just want to pull it tight. Chain 1 tight, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, chain 5, and then bead chain 1. Might be tough to do this for the first couple repeats, but you'll get the hang of it. You just want to find a way to get the bead as tight, as close to your hook as possible, and then wrap the yarn after the bead. And then when you do the next chain really tight, it helps to secure it in place. So that's chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll do a bead chain 1, bead chain 1, and then chain 1 tight, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip a bead, bead chain 1 tight, 2, 3, 4, whoops, I lost my yarn. So we'll back up to 3, and then 4 and 5. And that's really all you're going to do for the whole necklace. So what I would like you to do is repeat along with me the bead chain 1, and then chain 1 tight, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, chain 5, until you get to the last bead, and then I'll show you how to join the whole necklace. Okay, we've reached the end of all of our beads, and now what I'm going to show you is how to join this. You could just fasten off and tie your ends together, but what I'd like to show you is a way to fortify your join so that it's much stronger and not going to come apart. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into the first 4 chains of the beginning chain. And let's go back to our worsted weight yarn so I can show you what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the beginning and we're going to work into that first chain, insert your hook, and then pull a yarn through that loop and the loop on your hook. And then in the next chain you would insert your hook into the chain, then yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it through that chain and the loop on your hook. And we're going to do that for 3 chains. We're going to do three slip stitches. They're called slip stitches. So now we'll come back to our necklace, which is looking gorgeous, and we're going to find the first chain, and we're going to insert our hook into the first chain, and then we'll take our working yarn and yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain and the loop on our hook and pull tight. Then we're going to insert our hook into the next chain from the beginning chain, yarn over, pull a loop through the chain and the loop on our hook. And then we'll do it the 3rd time. Insert our hook into the next chain. Pull and slip through both that chain and the loop on our hook. Let's do it a 4th time. Work across closer to the bead. You know, you do whatever feels comfortable, but I'm thinking to work all the way across will be better. And slip through both. And now we can cut our yarn. And like I was saying before, you'll still need a yarn needle for weaving in these ends. That threader that I was talking, the flosser that I was talking about, it's great for replacing a beading needle, but it doesn't really work for replacing a yarn needle. So let me show you how we weave in our ends, and we're going to use, we'll use a yarn needle. And if our tails are a little bit rough from working with them, we'll just snip them because it makes it easier for threading it onto the needle. And this might be a good time to put glasses back on if you need them. There we go. So we'll just go back and forth, in and out of the chain a couple of times. And even so, though this little section of chain is now a little bit thicker because we slip stitched into it, it really is going to fortify the necklace so much, and I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Okay, we'll weave in the other end. These necklaces are super long, more than 60 inches long. So you could obviously wear it long and low over a tunic. That would be pretty on its own, or mixed and matched with other colors. Or it's long enough that you can wrap it around your neck twice so that you can have a 2-tiered necklace. It's even long enough that you could wrap it 3 times around your neck and have a 3-tiered necklace. When you're doing the 2 wrap, you could wear 1 loop up high like a choker and 1 loop low, or you could wear both of them like medium low. In the 3-tiered necklace, it ends up being more of a 3-tiered cascading necklace. The other thing is that they're great for wearing multiple colors together. And I'll show you, for example, this one works well with all of the blue and green yarns together. And what I would like to show you last then is a great tip from my friend Judy on how to store these when you're traveling so they don't tangle. All you're going to need is an empty paper towel roll or any cardboard tube that you have in your house, and you're just going to cut up the whole length. I'm sure a proper pair of scissors, regular household scissors, would work. much better, but this is what I have right now. And so you want to cut up the whole length of it, and then you want to cut slots into the side of it, like this. And I'm cutting them about 1 inch in, about 1 inch apart. And then we're going to come around and cut 1 inch slots on the opposite side of the tube. Okay, so now we'll grab a necklace, and you're going to want to insert it into the tube in the chain area in between the beads, and you want to wrap it around the necklace, around the tube, and then pull through the other side of the tube, like that. And we'll grab another necklace. Okay, and we'll pull it through this side of the tube, and then wrap it around. And pull it through the other side, the next slot on the other side of the tube. Okay, and we'll grab another necklace. Isn't this great? No more tangled necklaces when you travel. I used to just wear all my necklaces Mr. T style when I was traveling, just so that I could avoid ruining them. I won't have to do that anymore. If you have any tips for traveling with jewelry, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And there we go. We've got our necklaces ready for our next trip.